graceful and fluent. Ah! Hi, I'm Karel, and this is Steve Sheldon, and nothing says holidays like a nice chill. Now, here in Southern California, we've got our ice. I'm sure because of the polar vortex, you might have yours. We're going to be talking holidays today on Karel Life in Segments. We're also going to tell you how to cut down on your holiday calories. We're going to search for the hidden meaning of some Christmas songs, and we're going to check in with me on KGO News Talk 810. Can we ice skate in Southern California? Do we know how?
You can't hear.
Well, yeah, but do we fall?
We do.
Yeah. All right, the Queen Mary has all kinds of things all year round. Like many other venues across America, they have things like fireworks shows, they have Halloween, and they have a place to perfectly sit and be civil for tea here on the Queen Mary Tea Room. Let's talk a little bit about the tourism economy in the United States. How important is that? Because it's people like you that are fueling that economy. If that economy fell, it would hurt our overall economy, would it not?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we saw a dip in attendance both for the hotel and for the attractions and tours and for events after in 2008 when the economy crashed. And we've seen that growth over the last couple of years as the economy has
Is it back up where it was prior to 2008?
It is back. For us, it's up stronger than it was prior to.
Really? So you've come back stronger?
We have.
Wow. And I've heard that from other events.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go and have some more fun here on the Queen, and then we're going to go back to the studio and do more Life in Segments. You and I are going to finish having our tea. Thank you so much, Steve Sheldon, for joining us and talking the Queen with me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Stronger, stronger together. Stronger, stronger together.
Now, it's the holiday season, and before any holiday event, if you're like me, you talk to relatives, you talk to friends, you see what they're cooking, and you talk about what you're going to be eating. Now, every time I do this, I talk with my friend Karen Dittman, who lives in Texas. She's my ex-wife. It's a long story. That involved health insurance, and she decided to wear this fabulous mask today on the FaceTime. But invariably, I turn to trying to make things healthier, and you always tell me why bother, right? Because you figure that since I don't, adhere to some eat wheatgrass everyday diet, that I might as well just throw it all in and eat lard.
Well, you just have to actually do a diet.
Well, what do you, I'm trying to cut down, I'm trying to cut back, and every day you're like, why did you eat that? Why did you eat that?
Look at what you do, Bouley.
What?
You tell me you're going to go on a diet, and what do? You prep.
Yes.
And prepping means eating everything in sight.
So you're saying I prep a lot, but I don't diet? Is that?
And then you never diet. But you prep all the time.
Well, is the holidays the time to even be thinking about counting calories? Why should I even think about it till January? Why not just be fat?
Because that's how you think, Fat Freddy.
Call me Fat Freddy.
You are.
Well, look, we went over these recipes. I'm cooking these recipes to try to make them lower in calories. What did you say about them? What did you say about them?
Well, I said you might as well just have the good stuff as long as you can control yourself and just have a few bites of it.
By 2030, which state do you think is going to be the most obese?
Mississippi?
Absolutely, 66%. Which state do you think will be the least obese in 2030?
I started to say Colorado.
You're right, 44%, but I don't know after the legalization of pot, who can say?
Yeah.
But what does that say that by 2030, if we keep eating the way that we're eating, that the lowest obesity rate will be 44%? I mean,
that's pretty horrifying.
Well, you have diabetes.
I got it, but I've got it.
But I don't have diabetes, and you complain, oh, you eat all that sugar, you eat all that stuff, but yet you got diabetes, and you don't eat all that sugar. You're a diabetic. What are you eating over the holidays?
I'm going to have a little bite of everything. I'm going to have dark meat turkey. If they have mashed potatoes, I'll have like a tablespoon with some gravy.
A tablespoon of mashed potatoes. That's your Thanksgiving dinner.
And I'll have some cranberry sauce, because you have to choose where you're going to go overboard. And I may have a roll.
Oh, this year she might have a roll. Do you know how dismal that sounds? That's why America's fat. This year I might have a roll. And no dessert, right? There's no...
No, I'm going to save that for Christmas.
And what'll it be then?
Pecan tart.
Oh, and how much of that will you eat? A thimbleful?
Oh, that'll be horrifying. But I'm gonna eat the whole thing. But I didn't do it last year, so I'm gonna do it this year.
So it's every other year you get a dessert.
Yes.
And this really is why we're fat. We are trained that these sort of foods that are good for us don't taste good. And even you are, Karen. You try to make all this healthy crap. You talk about me. You make all this healthy crap, and what happens after you make it? What happens? You're hungry 2 hours later.
Yeah, but I'm getting better. You know, I just made some hamburger vegetable chowder.
Your prison gruel that you think is some gourmet treat. Oh, thank God she froze on that. Oh. Anyway, I'm sorry. See, I get all lost in my conversations with her, obviously. But the object is that we are a fat nation, and we are getting fatter. Now, I'm going to show you ways in the kitchen to be thinner, but it's an ongoing battle. The biggest battle of my life will be my waist. First of all, I'm just exhausted looking at this. I have to cook all this crap, and most of you over the holiday season are going to find yourself either a guest at someone's table, or in the kitchen, or both. Now, new research came out this week that because of dairy products and the drought and that pesky myth of global warming and climate change, we are seeing a lot higher dairy prices because cows take a lot of water, especially dairy cows. And so prices are up, and so it's going to cost you about $49.79, they say, to throw a dinner. I spent about $176 on this, including the 20-pound turkey, which I got for 50 cents a pound. I'm going to take some of this stuff here and show you how to make it better for you. I promise. Or I'm just going to eat the walnuts and let someone else cook. Screw it. I have got to get the bird going, and that's the biggest deal. You want to cook it about 20 minutes a pound, no matter how you're going to cook it. Normally, I would take butter and a cheesecloth and soak the cheesecloth in the butter and wrap the bird. That's going to add a lot of fat to it, and it's going to drizzle down, and it's going to be great, but still it's going to add a lot of fat. This is a great way to brown your bird without actually using all that fat. So I've got my bird over here. Said Nick. Oh, God. Where'd they put it? Oh, God, that's got to be uncomfortable. It's like prison. There's the drugs. Okay, he's all trussed up. That's good. She's all rinsed out. All right. You know, butter, I mean, if you're fine with protein and you're fine with butter, use butter. I don't use butter because it's not necessarily a place that I want to have a lot of fat, you know, in my turkey. So a little bit of olive oil, dab it on your turkey, rub the hell out of it. Hey, I'm lonely. Shove the hell of the aromatics up in there. Shove some celery up in there. You don't really have to cut it or make it pretty. The turkey's not going to care. It's dead and in the oven. I don't even peel my onions when I'm shoving them inside a bird, since it doesn't really matter. Again, the bird doesn't care. Turmeric, I'm telling you, turmeric. Do you know how beautiful that's going to make it look and taste? Oh, sprinkle the turmeric. Love the turmeric. Oh, yes, the turmeric. They say this is a lower calorie, lower fat way to do this. So you don't have to use butter. You don't have to use other fattening stuff to baste it and all that. Okay, come on, big girl. All trussed up and everything. Woo, she can fly. In she goes. You guys are skeptical, aren't you? You think, oh my God, the turkey's totally don't you? I mean, you do. You think it's totally screwed. There is no doubt that over the holidays, America loves to eat. Thanksgiving, 46 million turkeys make their way to the table. Christmas, 22 million turkeys. Over 5 million gallons of cranberry sauce will be consumed, and $600 million spent on ready-to-eat pies like the one right over there on that bar. America loves to get together and eat with good friends like I do. Is there a better way to do it? Is there a way to make it better for you? There is, and we've done it tonight. We're going to try some of that out as we're here at the food group. And these are all of my friends. This is Jules Long Beach. Say hello, everyone, to Jules Long Beach. Hello, darling. This is Steve Cabral, friend of our show and friend of mine. Here we have Amy Brown from, is it Betty Brown or Brown Betty Bakery?
Betty Brown Betty.
Betty Brown Betty Bakery, and she is supplying just pastries to California and beyond of some renown. Now, you know, calorically, the white meat has less calories than the dark meat. Dark meat has more calories than white meat.
Then clearly, I'm gonna have to have that.
The dark meat?
Yeah. It might have less calories, but also tastes dry.
Well, it's true. And
Well, it depends on the bird.
Well, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, this was on special, so, you know, we got it going on.
I am actually going to pass on turkey.
You don't eat the turkey, do you?
do
You're not into the bird.
Turkey, but I have to say, turkey skin is the thing that I miss most.
About Thanksgiving?
About
What it,
meat.
or about Christmas? Do you like skin?
Well, sure.
The thing that you love and miss so
You're
much.
gonna torture me with it.
I am going to torture you.
How
with
long
it.
have you been pescatarian, Amy?
A little over a year. It was a year in September.
I thought only lesbians made a habit out of eating fish. Who cooked in your family?
My mom and my sisters.
So what did you have? Now you're Mexican, so did you have the tamales?
No, tamales are at Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up in a traditional family setting. The women always did the cooking.
So the men didn't do any cooking.
That's right. That's right. So
So you fat farts just sat around and watched the women cook all day?
isn't that how it is in America?
Now today, let me tell you what we did here. The broccoli stuffing
Yes.
is vegan and no gluten, and there's no carbs in it either. Now, they say in the recipe that it's a great alternative for turkey dressing. Now, we have the traditional dressing here, which I made with a half a cup of butter, walnuts and pears, and a pork sausage with bacon grease. And we have this. So which of the two, the lighter alternative or the other, do you like more?
Well, I don't even think that's a question.
Really? There isn't one, is there?
No. I mean, it's gluten-free.
It's horse crap.
And it's
They're
vegan.
not-
Now the cranberries, one is made with a fruit juice and with pineapple and with a cup of sugar, and the other is made with stevia instead of sugar and water instead of fruit juice. So which of the two cranberries do you like the better?
I think they're both amazing.
In this case, I actually think you could get away cutting the calories in the cranberry because they are both good. Now, according to a survey this year, the price of this meal went up to about $50 because of dairy being so expensive.
Now, $50 a person or $50 total?
That's what I thought when I read it. They said $50 total. I said, who the hell can feed a family of more than one person for $50?
Never.
That's what they said for
How?
I don't know. Now, this was on special. This bird was only like $9. But that, I mean, so I'm supposed to spend $41 on everything else. Are you kidding me? Yes, now see those yams with the pineapple.
That is amazing.
And you know what? They have 1/3 the calorie of the other yams. The other yams have
Amazing.
brown sugar and marshmallows and everything else. And the white potatoes are sweet potatoes and cauliflower with white cheeses, which are lower in fat, hard white cheeses, as opposed to the other potatoes, which are just regular potatoes with cheddar cheese.
Now, coming from the fat drag queen, I think that the sweet potatoes with the pears and the honey is actually better.
Right, and it's actually lower
more
in
delicious.
fat and lower in carbohydrates than the other. So when planning a holiday meal, all you really have to do is say, okay, look, there's some stuff I'm not gonna be able to skimp on. You know, there's not.
Yeah.
People are gonna spit you down. If you serve this cauliflower dressing, they're gonna spit it out. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna be like, what the hell is this?
Well, it's not
vegetable.
dressing.
Call it what it is.
Right,
side
it's a
dish.
vegetable
It's a
side dish.
vegetable.
It's not dressing. This
Yeah.
is dressing. A half a cup of butter is dressing.
Yes.
And that's why by 2030, we're all going to be completely obese.
Well, we need to
44%
stop
below.
being afraid of vegetables. It's cauliflower. Why is that bad? Why do we need stuffing? Why do we have to have bread? It's
Why?
not
Have you tasted
sweet.
that?
It's
really good.
cauliflower.
My late husband, who died of a heart attack, said fat is flavor. Now, before, we're all just sitting around. This is my friend Daniel Charleston over here, a wonderful tenor and choir singer throughout Southern California. Morgan Mallory, my musical director, and he's my musical director for Life in Segments because this man can sing, child. This year, it seems like they broke the golden rule of Christmas, which was that they started playing Christmas songs like in October, right before, remember? Like right before Halloween. And don't you think that is too early, actually? I'll tell you why they're doing it, though. They're doing it, they have found out, radio stations have found out their ratings triple when they go all holiday. So now they're starting in November, like November 1st. And retailers are hoping this year to make $500 million in additional sales by starting the season 3 weeks prior to Black Friday. So now basically Halloween is El Dia de los Muertos is now Black Friday, basically.
If we haven't hit Thanksgiving yet, it's too soon for
Right, that is the golden rule, isn't it? And I think that's like one of those, don't you agree? It's like one of those unspoken rules. If you haven't hit Thanksgiving. But that being said, there's a very interesting history to a lot of Christmas music, and some of them like have caused world peace, as you know, and others we don't really know much about, and that's even interesting, in and of itself.
I think initially it was just learning the verses and singing the songs as a kid. I didn't really think about the history behind a lot of these songs.
Right. The first one is God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Now we all, pretty much love that song. But this is one on the opposite end of not knowing the story. With God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, we don't know who wrote it. We know that it came around in about 1790. And there's been an argument over what merry is meant. What do you think merry means? Are they happy? Are they gay? What's merry meaning? Are they mighty?
Merry meant mighty?
Well, there was an argument that merry might have meant mighty. So God rest ye mighty gentlemen. Let nothing you dismay.
Well,
then some just thought it meant just happy.
Well, Robin Hood and his merry men.
Right, but they were very happy.
Mighty.
No, they weren't. No, I saw those types.
And if we don't know who wrote it, it kind of gives us the opportunity to
Are you saying if you don't know who wrote it, I can't mess anything up, he won't care?
You take artistic license with the melody, and that's the fun part of Christmas music, is everybody always redoes it so many different ways every year. There's so much freedom.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Well, should we clap? Would you clap in your living room? I feel like I should clap. God, I have such talented friends. I love that. So back in 1818, they needed a Christmas Eve song, and the organ was broken. So the parish priest said, "Hey, we have a guitar." Right, absolutely. But that really wasn't heard of for a Christmas, carol, a Christmas hymn. So they said, well, let's just be unconventional. And they wrote Silent Night. So then in 1914, the world was at war. The world was absolutely at war. And it was Christmas Eve, yet again, and the Allied troops, the Germans were fighting the French, and there were some Americans there too. And it was, a night like any other, except that they knew it was Christmas Eve. And so the Germans, in their foxholes, started singing Silent Night in German, as it was originally written. And the French, hearing this, and knowing the song, started singing Silent Night as well. And Americans that were there started singing Silent Night as well. Well, suddenly the most remarkable thing happened, and the people came out of the trenches and started talking to each other and sharing rations and sharing liquor and having a Christmas Eve party and waking up Christmas morning and not annihilating each other, having a Christmas morning. They didn't go back to killing each other until the day after, I'm told. But
we can wait.
Right, but exactly. Well, if you think about it, what other song has literally brought about world peace? Isn't this one of your favorites? Is this one of your favorites?
Yeah, everyone's favorite.
It really is everyone's favorite.
Standard for every Christmas Eve.
Since 1818.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Oh, there's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Tell me, can we change and cure the world we made? There's gotta be a better way. Carry on.
Hey, it is the Crowcast. I am Karel. That is Thea Austin in a song co-written by me, of all people. So very glad you are joining me. Mickey Huff is with Project Censored, and you know there's a lot of stories that just they don't catch your eye like Kim's butt. Why? We don't know why. That's the eternal question. Why will you talk about this and not talk about that? And the fact is, so many stories get missed that you really need to know. And Mickey, that's what Project Censored does, and it brings those each year in a book. You have a new one for 2015 at projectcensored.org. But tell me, what are some of the absolute biggest, most underreported stories?
Yeah, well, in our book this year, the top stories included the number one story was on ocean acidification, which is, of course, a global warming story. The second story was the top 10 recipients of U.S. aid taxpayer money.
Well, we know it ain't you or me, so who the hell are they?
Well, they all practice torture or are accused of practicing torture and have abysmal human rights records. And the third story, a doozy that was kind of in the news but not this past week, is WikiLeaks revelations on the Trans-Pacific partnerships. Of course, Laura Poitras' new film, Citizen 4, is now making its rounds and generating some attention. As far as journalists goes and journalists and whistleblower types, the film on Gary Webb, Kill the Messenger, was a nice thing to see because Gary, of course, was the person who brought us the CIA crack cocaine story years ago and basically lost his career over it and ultimately committed suicide. There's a price to pay, Karel, when you tell the truth about powerful people and when you sort of pull the veil back and show people what.
Well, is that why nobody does it?
Well, that's why a lot of people don't do it, yeah, because I would imagine. And right now, Karel, people in the United States they're tied for the record low in terms of trust of corporate media, down to about 40%. Trust in Congress was down to about 11%, but they still had a 96%.
Well, I would trust corporate media about 11% as well.
Any issues?
Are you encouraged at all, Mickey Huff, with Project Censored, that a report came out about conservatives versus liberals in terms of where they get their media? And for liberals, they get their media from at least 3 to 5 sources, not just one.
Including ones they disagree with.
Conservatives invariably get it from 1 or 2 at most.
Yeah,
are you encouraged, though, on the at least progressive side, that at least they are looking to other media sources?
Yeah, and, you know, we even get criticized some because we look at so many different sources that, you know, people try to pin us down. And they're like, oh, you're a left group, you're this group, you have a story, but then you have a right-wing story. It's like, look, man, we're in favor of a free press, and we're in favor of the public having the right to know. And the more you tell people about what's going on, the more you can likely trust them that they may show up, they may vote, and they may actually begin acting in a public way in the public's interest.
Well, they'll at least show up to vote for pot because they'll be so depressed over it all, they'll want to be high.
Gets out